Welcome to Buckmore Park in Kent for round 4 of Champions of the Future. Before we see any kart racing though, let's get a few track facts.
Pretty hard up the top because it's so close and you can dive in underneath people no matter how quick or slow you are.
It's a nice track, it's flowing, it's got good quick hairpins.
Fast, bumpy and difficult.
You go through like a king, down a hill which is flat out, you have to use the curbs a lot though.
Some bends are sweeping, some bends are tight.
It's fast and smooth, it's quite exciting to drive.
It's a much of a driver's track. Really, the good lads should go well around here, so should be looking for a good result.
So that's the circuit. Now it's time to get behind the visors and meet some of the leading entries in Formula Yamaha.
I think we're doing pretty well. We're 6th in the championship and it's gone fairly well. Had a bit of problems at Larkle, but yeah, so far we've gone well. I think it's going to be a bit mixed because there's a lot of people near enough there, so it could be quite tight.
On Saturday I was quick, very quick. I mean, and in 3-lap practice we had to change the tyres and I was a bit annoyed because we've gone a lot slower. I'm just aiming for 3 top 10 finishes in the heat and the top 6 in the final, just main aim to be consistent and get points.
We're doing pretty well on drops, we're leading it by 21 points, so we don't have to win every round, we've just got to finish consistent to win the championship, that's all we're going to have to do.
Well, those are the pace setters so far this season on Champions of the Future. Let's see how they get on with each other and join Steve Slater on the track.
Bumping and boring already as pole position man Jack Anderson slows the field for the run to the start. Anderson will be on the inside for turn 1. Simon Walker-Hansel, number 4 on the outside. But as Jack Anderson turns his pole position into P1. Simon Walker-Hansel in 2nd place, defending there from Chris Brown, Jack Linfoot and Tom Lawson. And behind them, number 0, Danny Allen, already down in row 4 for the start. He's up to 6th place. Jack Anderson at the head of the field, Simon Walker-Hansel in that 2nd place. And some real hard charging going on in the rest of the pack. Meanwhile, Jack Anderson, Simon Walker-Hansel pushing equally hard over the curbs. Up over Herbert Rise now, and then back down to the pit lane area. Simon Walker-Hansel bouncing on his kart to try and get extra traction. Over through the S's though, it's Jack Anderson, the race leader, across the line. Simon Walker-Hansel in that 2nd place. 3rd place, Chris Brown. Danny Allen now starting to pull away from Tom Lawson and Jack Linfoot. He forced them wide when he went through into 4th place. It's given the rest a bit of a breathing space. There's Lawson and Linfoot, number 40 and 88. Pursued now by James Harvey. He's moving up fast through the pack as well. The silver 23 kart. Nathan Richardson behind as well. Kart 15 there. Started this race in 13th place. He's already up the way. Battling now with Sean Carpenter and Edward Hoy. Racing all the way up and down the order. Jack Linfoot now up to 5th place ahead of Tom Lawson, but Lawson's trying to fight back and their battle's taking them closer to Danny Allen in kart 0. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, it's still Jack Anderson and Simon Walker-Hansel ahead of this streaming pack. Sean Carpenter back up to 8th place there on the number 46 card ahead of Nathan Richardson. Big armful of lock there for Tom Lawson with James Harvey in hot pursuit. And if you're aggressive with the steering like that early in the race on the Yamaha kart, you can easily overheat the tyres, and by the end of the race you've got no front end grip left. So you've got to pace yourself as well as pushing hard. This is one of the great driving tracks in Great Britain. Flat out through the side sweep, full throttle all the way through this corner, really challenging. Then down to the hairpins. Banging again over the curbs. And number 23, James Harvey, in 7th place, determined to close in on Tom Lawson. You can see that determination in his body language. And he's making a move there up through the S's, right up onto the tail now of number 40. And Tom Lawson takes a quick look over his shoulder, but he's again using the curbs. James Harvey trying to take the shorter route. And Harvey really is muscling his kart around. Forces Lawson into a mistake there and straight down the inside. Great stuff there by James Harvey. But Tom Lawson's not going to give up on that. Closing in on the run through the S's now. 3rd, 4th and 5th, Chris Brown, Danny Allen and Jack Linfoot. Then James Harvey and Edward Hoy closing in as well. So tremendous battles all the way down the order. And there you can see them streaming through the S's. But at the head of the field. It's still Jack Anderson and Simon Walker-Hansel. Chris Brown in third place, number 87, still holding off Danny Allen, but maybe not for long. We're riding with Chris Brown, looking back at the zero card of Danny Allen. Allen tries one side, then the other. Maybe he's got down the inside. Yes, he has. A great move there, through into third place. But Chris Brown gets it back. Brilliant racing by these two. Chris Brown back up into third place, looking back at Danny Allen. Let's have another look at that on the replay. Chris Brown forced a little bit wide there. Danny Allen goes down the inside, but Chris Brown keeps his head, holds the inside line, goes back into that third place. But this is a battle that is set to run and run. Both cars bouncing over the curbs, and down the inside and up on the three wheels goes the zero card of Danny Allen, but it's three wheels that gets him through into third place. And a bit of bumping and boring now, because Chris Brown's having to defend his fourth place. He's lost that, he's down into fifth, now down to sixth place, battling with James Harvey. And all of a sudden it's a rear guard action from Chris Brown, losing his momentum as a result of that. Danny Allen up into third place. Jack Linfoot, 88 now, up into fourth, then fighting back, and it's three abreast down through the hairpins. Up onto the grass goes James Harvey. Edward Hoy closing in the 38 card as well. What a battle this is. Number 87, Chris Brown, still fighting a defensive action there. Jack Linfoot in that fourth position. But down the inside goes James Harvey. He is up into fifth, down to sixth now. And it's under pressure from Edward Hoy for Chris Brown. We're looking back from Brown's cart. Edward Hoy right on his tail, tries one side, then the other. But nice bit of late braking there from Chris Brown. Can he hold the momentum through the corner? Yes, he can. Every one of these drivers right on the limit. And just listen to the exhaust note. It's not just a case of stomping on the throttle pedal, gently feeding the power in so he doesn't upset the tyres. It's great driving there by number 87, Chris Brown. But he has got Edward Hoy using the grass, the black stuff, the curbs and everything else in his pursuit. Meanwhile, it's back down the inside for Chris Brown. Moves back up a place ahead of Jack Linfoot. Meanwhile, taking the checkered flag, race winner Jack Anderson from Simon Walker-Hansel. Danny Allen comes in third ahead of James Harvey, with Chris Brown a fighting fifth.
Pulled out a lead. Simon was hanging on to him for a bit at the start, but I managed to get a gap and go for it.
Did you have any doubt at all about the outcome of the race?
No, we were quick. I knew if I got a lead, I would go for it, win it.
And that battle between Danny Allen, James Harvey and Chris Brown for the places means that they move to the head of the championship points.
In terms of pure speed, the boys driving the Formula JICA karts are just a little bit faster than everybody else. Let's see how they got on today.
It looks set to be a battle of the Scots from the JICA final, with Ian Johnson on pole position and Paul de Resta alongside. But as early as turn one, de Resta was in trouble, nudged wide by Oliver Oakes, and that left Johnson in control at the head of the field, chased by Oakes, de Resta and Alexander Sims. Number 10, Jack Willis, was in stunning form, charging up the field from 11th place, but things were tougher in the pack, and tougher still for de Resta, out with mechanical failure. At the checkered flag, it was Ian Johnson by a clear 2 seconds for maximum points, and a frustrating no score for de Resta. And that victory for Johnson means that he vaults into a 13-point championship lead over de Resta. No wonder he looks happy on the podium.
Join us after the break for more wheel-to-wheel action with the boys from Formula Cadet and also Rotax Junior Max. And ever wondered what happened to this former kart racer? We'll meet him again in Where Are They Now?
England internationals on 3 consecutive weekends. All 3 games live from Twickenham. Starting with World and Tri-Nations champions Australia.
They don't come much bigger than this.
For England, another huge test. A chance to restore momentum.
Oh, what a drive!
For Australia, time to avenge last year's Twickenham defeat. A chance to show they're still the best. Ford International Rugby, Saturday from 1:30, exclusively live and interactive, Sky Sports 2.
You know those purple ones from Quality Street? Well, now, they're 4 times bigger. The new big purple one.
you've been hurt in an accident in the last 3 years, you may be entitled to compensation, like Lisa Muir.
I was in a road accident, and after I suffered flashbacks, I called the National Accident Helpline, who put me in touch with a specialist solicitor on a no-win, no-fee basis. I received over £3,000 compensation.
Find out free if you can make a no-win, no-fee claim. Call the National Accident Helpline now on 0800 556 557.
Hello. When you want a personal loan, you can just go to your bank. But why not see if it's easier, faster and cheaper to call Lombard Direct on 0800 2 15,000.
Your rate is based on your circumstances and loan amount. Our typical rate is just 8.9% APR.
For an unsecured personal loan of up to £25,000, call Lombard Direct now on 0800 2 15,000.
So I phoned British Gas and I asked, making one thing absolutely clear. A blue flickery flame hovering like a small kite. They said they knew exactly what I was getting at. Bloop, bloop. Upshot is, if I get my gas, electricity and home phone for them, I could make great savings. Just one call, the lot. Extraordinary device. Put that there. I remember it as if it were yesterday. Because, you see, it was like...
Get gas, electricity and phones from British Gas and you could save money.
They pulled me out by the teeth.
You know those purple ones from Quality Street? Well, now they're 4 times bigger. The new big purple one.
Welcome back to Champions of the Future from Buckmore Park in Kent. Before we see more racing, let's remember one of our karting stars from the past and where are they now?
Okay, well, we're sitting here in what is now called the David Cawthon Museum, which is a bit scary. It makes me think that I should be much older. But it's just a collection of racing items that my father's kept right since I started karting when I was 11 years old, which is this kart here, which I think is quite amazing we managed to find it after all these years. And, you know, my early driving was in a kart round my father's transport yard.
From the yard in Dumfriesshire to the Grand Prix circuits of the world, Coulthard has worked hard, but he's achieved every karter's dream.
You know, when I go to work, it's in a different country, but anything that's really worth working for deserves a bit of effort, so we don't complain too much.
Time for more racing now, this time from the second quickest formula in our series of Champions of the Future. These are the boys who race the Rotax Junior Max, and these are the ones to watch.
Well, we're leading the championship. I've got some good points from all the rounds I've had. It's been consistent. Today's going all right as well. I'm out to get the maximum points I can to improve my championship and put away.
Very confident. I had a good first half of the season with 1 victory. Shame about Wilton Mill, and I got a good third at Scotland, so setting up for a good year. Downham's leading the championship, so as long as I can beat him, I should be well up there.
Well, I'm doing a lot better than we thought we would, because obviously it's a rookie year for me. My main rival probably for this weekend is Adam Wright, because I'd like to beat him to move up in the championship.
So those are the ones to watch. Now let's see the field in motion. On the grid, Steve Slater has all the action from the Junior Max.
22 karts rolling, James Clink and Darren Blurk heading the field down to turn 1. And Clink from pole position into the lead. Carl Moon down the inside up into second. Darren Burke down to third. All sorts of trouble behind. Stuart All, Ewan Ellis Hankey, Gary Michael, Ross Carter, Dave Richards, Khrushchev, all in a huge pile-up. Marshall's quickly at work. There's some bent machinery down there. But it's James Clink, Carl Moon, Darren Burke and Jason Barrett now. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 77, James Clink in the red, the yellow of Carl Moon, then Darren Burke in third place, riding with James Clink, race leader. Watch his left foot on the brake and a tweak of opposite lock there. And you don't want to be doing that too early in the race. You'll lose momentum. And again, watch his foot hovering over that brake pedal, flat out through the S's, up to the start-finish line. Now let's take another look at that opening map. Now watch the leaders, then watch the pile-up behind. There's the bang on the back. Dave Richardson being spun out, and that's what starts the multi-cart pile-up. Meanwhile, James Clink, though, still there at the head of the field. Carl Moon in second place. We're riding with Darren Burke in third. Looking back at fourth position, Jason Parrott. And Parrott trying to take a wide line there down into the right-hander. Doesn't quite work through the S's though. This is where he might try and put together the momentum though, across the start-finish line, and try and get down the inside, down into that first right-hander. And it's number 3, Darren Burke, that's making it work at the moment. He goes down the inside of number 17, Carl Moon. Moon drops down to 3rd place. And James Klink still out in front, but maybe not for long, because this is the man on the move. And indeed he does. He's through into the race lead. Now we're riding on the red cart with James Klink, chasing number 3, Darren Burke. This is working perfectly for our cameras. There's the rear-facing camera looking back from number 3, and that's what he can see. Wheel-to-wheel action. Carl Moon and James Klink banging wheels there. And James Klink dropping away now from the race leader. Maybe Klink's got some kind of a problem. He's certainly quick through the corners, but he is struggling down the straights. And even the applause from everybody in the crowd is not making him go any quicker. Now watch number 77, late on the brakes there, but the other two crawling all over the back of him. Carl Moon and Jason Parrott trying to find a way past. This is good defensive driving from James Klink, but listen to the note of the engine. Okay on the flat-out stuff. But there you can hear it, there's a hesitation on the throttle. When he opens the throttle, it's not picking up cleanly. And James Klink is in all sorts of trouble now. All he can do is defend and try and hold on as long as he can in 2nd place. Meanwhile, the race leader flying away at the head of the order. Darren Burke from this 3-kart scrap. And again, you can hear that misfire there for number 77, James Klink, and this time it's cost him that 2nd and 3rd place. He's dropping away because through in the gap at long last, Jason Parrott gets through into 2nd place, pursued by Carl Moon, who seems destined to be in 3rd place, whoever it is ahead. And that's a very, very physical ride over the curves for Carl Moon. And Carl Moon, I've got to say, starting to look tired at the wheel of the yellow number 17 kart. Watch his head on his shoulders. Meanwhile, race leader, he's got the adrenaline of being out in front. And Darren Burke extending his advantage, now over 3 seconds away. Great battling down the order as well. 7th and 8th places, Daniel Hard and Daniel Faulkner, 69 and 96, battling hard. And down the inside goes Daniel Faulkner. Good move by him. And he says, now let's concentrate, let's push hard and let's try and catch up on the people ahead. And that's what they're doing now, racing into, oh, he's lost it though. Round he goes, hits the tyre wall, and that is driving on the limit and just taking it 1 step too far, and he knows it's all his own fault. Jason Parrott, Carl Moon still battling hard for that 2nd place. This is tremendous racing, but just look at the difference in the body language of these two. They've both given it absolutely 100% for this race. But look at number 17, Carl Moon. He can hardly keep his head on his shoulders. That kart is shaking and wrestling him all the way around. And he is literally hanging on for the checkered flag here, pushing very hard, but looking very tired indeed. Meanwhile, Jason Parrott, 2nd place for him. There's no chance of him catching the race leader because Darren Burke is out on his own taking the checkered flag. A superb result for Darren Burke. Great result for Jason Parrott in 2nd place. And Carl Moon, that was a gritty drive to 3rd. David Jensen lines up 3 very tired young drivers.
Well, that was a hard-fought race. Another convincing win from Darren Burke. Darren, you were 2nd on the grid. You went back to 3rd, but you finished 1st by quite some distance. Take us through the race.
Yeah, it was a long race. At the start, I couldn't get in at the start because I was on the outside and James had the inside line. So I dropped back to 3rd behind Carl. Just waited till my tyres came on. Made my way past Carl, and then maybe get my way past James, and then I concentrated on getting my head down and trying to pull away.
And that great victory by Darren Burke extends his championship lead now to 30 points, but it's a dead heat for 2nd between Wright and Moon.
It's time for the final race today in Champions of the Future. Now, the boys in Formula Cadet are always fiercely competitive. Before we see them in action, let's see the ones to watch.
Yeah, I've done reasonably well. I've clocked up good points at all 3 rounds, and I'm hoping to do well this weekend. We were struggling on the Saturday, but we've got it together now, so hopefully if it stays dry, get some boots.
The weekend's been okay. Been worried about whether it's going to rain, whether it's going to hold off, but the moment it's holding off, but at the moment things are going pretty smoothly. I'm hoping to get the win, but a top 3 place would be nice, just to get out there and win some more points.
I've had a second, my first heat to Chris Dooley, and then I just had a first. One more heat to go in the final.
Don't let their young age fool you. These guys are very aggressive, they're very quick. These are the Formula Cadets in action.
Side by side at the head of the field, number 11, James Calado from Worcestershire, and the pole position man, Adam Christodoulou. And number 11, Calado, in all sorts of trouble, hung out wide there, right down to 6th place. And spinners at the tail of the pack, Sam Smithman and James Bradshaw get going again. Christodoulou, Rowbottom and Jenkins, 1, 2, 3, and it's number 11, Calado, back up to 4th. Oh my, and that is a big impact. Sam Bennett, Daniel Barton and James Blanchard, they're all involved in a very big accident. Number 6, Adam Christodoulou, still leading, but with marshals on the track, the red flags are being waved, and the good news is Sam Bennett, Daniel Barton and James Blanchard are all okay. Let's have a look at what happened there. There go the leaders through the corner, and off into the tyre wall. Number 93, James Blanchard, stationary in the pack, and then 2 carts hitting him very heavily indeed. And James Blanchard hunched over the cart there. Well, not only is he up and running, he's back in for the restart, so that is a very brave young man. Meanwhile, it's Adam Christodoulou back at the head of the order, and equally again, the opportunity's been lost for Calado, back down in the pack. It's Christodoulou, Daniel Rowbottom on the 0 cart, Scott Jenkins, cart 43, up from 5th place. Then it's James Calado back up to 4th, ahead of Jonathan Block. And the train now starting to stretch out. Thomas Arm in 6th place, ahead of James Tucker. James Blanchard in number 93. Watch out for the man in blue. He's up to 8th place after that huge accident in the first start. But it's Adam Christodoulou in control at the moment at the head of the field. But don't forget Daniel Rowbottom, a very, very determined young man from Kidderminster, trying to find his way past now. And there are literally just inches in it as they come up across Johnny Herbert Hill now. And then heading back down across the start-finish line. It's 3 carts in a slipstreaming train. And these young men know that the man in front makes a hole in the air that makes you go quicker. So they're sitting there right in the other man's slipstream, waiting to do a slingshot to dive out into one of the corners. And you just wait for a man to put a wheel wrong in front of you, then dive down the gap. That's the theory. Now see how it works in practice. James Calado, well, he's made it work. He's already back up into 3rd place. But a break being made at the head of the order now, and it's Adam Christodoulou and Daniel Rowbottom starting to pull away from James Calado and Scott Jenkins. The young men putting their hands over the carburettor there to richen the mixture on the way into the corners, give them a power boost on the way out. 1, 2, 3 and 4 pulling away at the head of the field from the rest of the pack. It is Jonathan Block heading the pack from Thomas Arm, 5th and 6th places. Leaders Christodoulou and Rowbottom. Calado and Jenkins 3rd and 4th. Then there's this tremendous battle, almost hidden away behind Thomas Arm there. James Tucker literally tucked down behind the back bumper of that cart. They're being followed through by James Blanchard, number 93. He was the young man in that huge pile-up, and as you can see, he's better than fit and well. He's fighting fit and well, and he's got Adam Foster right on his tail in 9th place. James Tucker, look over his shoulder, hunched in determination over that steering wheel. 1, 2, 3 and 4 come through. Then comes this amazing 4-car train. And who would have thought that James Blanchard, who we saw slumped over the side of his cart, will be still in the thick of the action now. Now, Adam Christodoulou, the young man at the head of the order, still has Daniel Rowbottom right behind. He knows he can't afford even to look over his shoulder. He is absolutely on the limit of adhesion through every single corner. Tiny little movements of the steering wheel, because with these 60cc engines, you don't want to lose momentum. It's not like the big JICA machines. You can't afford to throw these around and get them sideways, not if you want to keep the race lead. But look at Daniel Rowbottom. He is really trying every which way. He's gone one side and the other. And Adam Christodoulou instinctively is just keeping that number 6 cart right in the wheel tracks of where Daniel Rowbottom wants to be to try and gain the advantage. Rowbottom has got to try and psych him out into a bit of a mistake maybe. And the two almost rubbing bumpers there and going high, wide and handsome. Daniel Rowbottom tries a slingshot. Oh, and that's a superb move. Daniel Rowbottom down the inside of the curbs gets into the race lead, and that was absolutely what racing is all about. Brilliant move. Now, Daniel Rowbottom defending through the hairpins. This is where he was weaker. Adam Christodoulou maybe he's got to look alongside though. Christodoulou carrying a bit more speed through the corner, and he's going to go high, wide and handsome this time. Tries to get the slingshot, but look at the zero car. Daniel Rowbottom trying to block him, and it's going to be another case of trying to get that move down the inside again. Christodoulou goes wide, now goes down the inside on Herbert Hill, and it's wheel to wheel every inch of the way here, side by side on the run to the checkered flag. This is down to the last corner of the last lap. Oh, and there's contact. Daniel Rowbottom tries to close the door. Adam Christodoulou spins him round, takes the line, and it's a frustrated Rowbottom in fourth, pipped to the post by Calado and Arm. Let's hear what Adam has to say about that.
Boy, it doesn't get much closer than that. You did it. Amazing. Tell us what happened towards the end of that race then.
Well, going around the big corner, Daniel got past me, but held it tight all the way around. And then, as soon as it came to the straight, I was on the inside, he turned into me and had a bit of a collision, and, well, he spun and I kept on going and won it.
An important win for Christodoulou. He's third in the points now. James Calado, though, takes the lead from Rowbottom.
That's it from Buckmore Park in Kent. Join us next week on Champions of the Future when we see the boys race on the fastest circuit in the UK, and that's Three Sisters Wigan. Bye for now.